call this piece Sisi's Islamist Enemies and Secret Friends. Now, Egypt has been battling with Sinai-based terrorists ever since the overthrow in 2013 of former President Mohamed Morsi and the Muslim Brotherhood government that he headed. Their year in office demonstrated all too clearly to the majority of the Egyptian population just what living under an extreme Islamist administration meant, and by and large, they rejected it. Even so, the Muslim Brotherhood retained the support of a fair minority of Egyptians, and Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, later to be president, inherited an inherently unstable situation, which he believed could only be contained by suppressing the Muslim Brotherhood and all its works. Hence the trial of Morsi, the clampdown on leading Brotherhood figures and its adherents, and the jailing of journalists employed by the TV station Al Jazeera, based in Qatar, which supported the Muslim Brotherhood. As Sisi's clampdown grew in severity, prominent Brotherhood figures fled the country, while existing Islamist bodies in Sinai, affiliated either to Al-Qaeda or to Islamic State, were joined by new extremist terror groups. The Sinai Peninsula, vast and sparsely populated, was the ideal launching pad for pro-Brotherhood bodies intent on harassing Egypt's new administration. But the eastern edge of the Sinai Peninsula delineates the internationally recognized 213-kilometer or 132-mile border between Egypt and Israel. Now, military action by either nation is subject to a delicate balance set out in the Egyptian-Israeli Peace Treaty of 1979. On the one hand, the agreement imposes strict limitations on Egyptian military deployment in the region. On the other, any Israeli incursion into the peninsula requires Egypt's permission. Ever since the jihadist groups stepped up their terror attacks in the Sinai, Israel has given its approval to Egypt's greatly enhanced military presence. Equally, as reports like that in the New York Times on February the 4th, 2018 assert, Egypt has been approving Israeli airstrikes, more than 100 of them over the last 2 years, against Islamic State targets in northern Sinai. Most of the attacks in the Sinai Peninsula in recent years have been claimed by Sinai Province, the Egyptian affiliate of Islamic State. The group, though, has never claimed responsibility for what's been described as, quote, the deadliest militant attack in modern Egyptian history, unquote, but all the evidence points to it. In the midst of Friday prayers on November the 24th, 2017, militants launched a bomb and gun attack on the Al-Roda Mosque in the town of Bir al-Abed in Egypt's North Sinai province. 311 people were killed, including 27 children, and at least 122 other people were wounded. Immediately after the attack, Sisi declared 3 days of national mourning and ordered the armed forces to mount a full-scale military operation aimed at defeating the Sinai-based militants within 3 months. Now, it's taken some 8 weeks to plan the campaign, but on February the 16th last, the operation, named Sinai 2018, began, involving the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, and the police. Sinai 2018 started just a couple of days before United States Secretary of State Rex Tillerson visited Cairo. For several years now, American commanders have provided intelligence assistance to Egyptian commanders in Sinai. In addition, ever since 2015, there have been reports of Egypt working closely with Israel in Sinai, and of Israeli drones, helicopters, and jets carrying out dozens of attacks in the region. Now, neither Egypt nor Israel is acknowledging the growing cooperation as they face a common foe, a jihadist insurgency in the Sinai. Their relationship mirrors that between Jordan and Israel, security cooperation, but as far from the public eye as possible. Nothing, however, can disguise the $15 billion natural gas deal just struck, under which the operators of Israel's vast Tamar and Leviathan fields will be selling some 64 billion cubic meters of gas to Egypt over the next 10 years, an agreement mirroring Israel's 2016 gas deal with Jordan, worth some $10 billion. Today's political and commercial realities are overriding the outworn imperatives of yesteryear. Well, thank you very much for listening, and do please join me again next time. Goodbye.